Hi everyone, it's Anya here. I'm back with another video for Ophelia Crafts. Now, a couple of weeks ago I put a tutorial online for this particular card for the way I designed this, so for the way I stamped it and I worked out how to do this. Now, this video has proven so popular. In honor of that, I thought I would do a different video today, but obviously it's going to be a wreath again, but a different technique. The same stamp set, different colours, but a different technique. So, the other day I was playing around with the new technique that I'm going to be showing you today, and I started here, didn't like that, and then I worked my way to there, and this is the kind of look that I'm looking for. It's the watercolour look, so you stamp something and then you go over it with your pencil with water. So today I have used the flower patch stamp set together with the dies, because I've got a bag of cutouts that I use as masks, so you need a couple of those. And what I also have done, I have found a little butterfly stamp, because I thought I would do a combination of flowers and butterflies. And my cat is just walking across my workspace. Can you see him? Yeah, there he is. Hopefully he'll walk away soon. And I thought that would be nice to combine the butterfly with the flowers. So we'll see how that goes. Obviously it's not going to be a card today. I'm just going to show you how to do this technique. You then can take it and make your own cards. I also did I cut out some, punched out, sorry, he's gone now, some butterflies, so I could use those for masking as well. So the way to do this, right, is the following. You have your, first of all, let's draw the outline of the wreath. So I've got my golden syrup. This one is a big one, so I'm going to put that down on my paper. I love these tins, so every time one was empty I just used it for you know, pencils on my desk. So I've got all my pencils on there now, so never mind. So there we are, that's our wreath shape. Then I take my rubber and I just rub it out again, because I do not want too much left on the page of the pencil. And I will be rubbing later on as well, to make sure that nothing is... see, there we go, that's where we'll put the first flower. Now, take our ink pad, and what we are going to do is, I've got my stamp mounted on a block that's not too big. So what I do is I put it in and I dab it in the middle with a tissue to get rid of the ink in the middle. Then I stamp it, go back to my ink pad and do the edges of the flower, so only the edges. You can see I've caught the edges, the corners of my stamp pad as well, so we get rid of that. Also get rid of some of the cat hairs that are there now. And then, a bit more on this side, what I do then is I stamp it again, then I huff on it, a good huff, and then I put it on my paper. There. You get a very, very light impression. Then you take a wet pencil and you start to colour it in. Try not to go outside the lines. The little bit of colour that there is, you will be able to use that to colour your flower. So this will create the impression that actually you've drawn this in watercolour, but in fact what you've done is just gone over the image with your wet brush. And if you try it, I have to say it is a lot easier if you can actually lean over. I'm doing this from a distance now, so that's making it a little bit sort of harder, but if you can lean over, makes it a lot easier. There we go. So try to respect the lines of the you don't need much water. I think, to be honest, I think it's best to do this with a brush. You could do it with the aqua painters, but I'm not sure. I think that would give you just too much water because there's a constant flow of water. Here you just have the little bit of water that's in your brush and that stays. So then next, I have not cleaned my stamp. I am going to ink it up again. Any remnants that might be left over from the rich raspberry will be there. It doesn't matter, it's okay. So get rid of the middle bit and do a little bit there. Actually, I might just tip the edges of the flower into the rich raspberry. So we've got Wisteria Wonder and rich raspberry that I'm mixing here. Do my corners and stamp it off again, huff on it, and let's put it down elsewhere. A bit more. A good huff and down. And that will give us just enough sort of colour in our shape of our flower. Now this is what I'm trying to avoid, to have those lines, but if you sort of bring in your pencil with quite a bit of, your brush with quite a bit of water, you can tone that down. Now if you don't like the look of it, because this one is very light, what you can do is just bring in some more colour by opening your ink pad and creating a pool of ink on there with your, when you've got your ink pad closed, you press it and that will create a pool of colour in there. And this way, look, you can bring into the wet flower. It needs to be wet, otherwise it doesn't get you that look of real watercolour. And that will give us a lot more colour in our flower. Really, we're stamping down, and that's giving us the basis for us to then paint into. So people might think you've done it all by hand, which really we've coloured it in by hand, but we haven't shaped it by hand, which is a more difficult thing, I think, in watercolouring. So that's given us a I'm just going to get rid of this edge here, I want it lighter. You could also make it wet and then use your paper towel just to dab on it, and that will make it lighter again. So there's lots of things you can do with this technique. I've seen this technique in YouTube tutorials from several people who make cards, not just Stampin' Up but also other brands, and I thought, oh, I can do that. I can translate that into the you know, into Stampin' Up products. So there we are, that's that. Then I'll do another one. We'll do a complete Wisteria Wonder this time. Okay, stamp it off. Let me clean off the edges so I don't get any ink on my paper anywhere. And let's give it a good huff. This time I'm going to use my mask. There we go, and off we go. I've still got a little bit of pink on my brush, but that doesn't matter. It'll incorporate, I'm sure. And you just colour in all the petals. Again, if you want some more colour, I like these kinds of things because it's sort of, I like colouring, I like painting, so it gives me a little bit more of an artistic freedom than just stamping up and down. It gives you another way to use your stamps, to use your ink, and more colours really, because this is a watered down Wisteria Wonder, so you've got the lighter colour again, so it's using the same supplies as you've already got, but in a different way. If you're going to touch another flower, make sure it's dry. That's why I chose this one to put this this flower next to, because you want to make sure that you're not going to bleed into each other. Okay, so they're dry. Right, let's do another one there. So I'm going to need one mask here. No, I'm not going to do that because this one isn't dry yet. So what I am going to do is show you how I do the leaves in between. So we've same thing. So you've got your leaf image on there, and I just stamp it off, but I stamp it off badly, and I just leave some green in the middle or on the side or wherever it happens to be. Let's just clean off the edge here because I've hit it in the ink pad. And let's cover up this flower because that was already dry, and we'll give it a leaf on this side. Huff. And you can actually stamp this 2 or 3 times. Huff. And on there. Oops, there we go. Our brush. Make sure there's no colour on it again anymore, right? So we can go on into the green. I go into this one first, and then I take up some of the colour and transfer that to there. Now, you see it doesn't meet the flower, but that's okay because we can colour it in. We can add to the leaf to make sure it touches the flower. Some leaves will be darker green, other leaves will be lighter green, that's okay. And then we go back in here to finish colouring this one. There we go, a little bit more colour on this side maybe, a little bit more colour here. Okay, there we are. Another leaf at the top there, I think. If you just stamp it badly basically on your scratch paper, you can then, you don't have just some colour left somewhere that you can work with. Huff on it, and let's see if we can get a second leaf out of there. Yes, of course we can. And then we colour it in. As you can see, I'm not using a lot of water, so do not overdo it with the water. It's better to, you know, to have to take more water than you go in with a very, very wet brush. So it's just water, a little bit of water in the brush, nothing more. There we go. Okay, so in the meantime, this one is dry. So what I thought we could do is put some leaves, more leaves, cover this one up. I'm really huffing here, making it nice and moist, the huff. Okay. I'm not going to complete this picture, don't worry, I'm not going to keep you here all night. I just want to show you the technique of how to do this. Like I said, you can then take this technique and make it your own basically, so choose your own image to use. Like you can see, I've used the flower patch. I used this little flower from the flower patch. I really love that little flower. You can do so much with it. It's a perfect size for something like this. But what I wanted to do now, show you, is I wanted to put a butterfly in. So for butterfly I've chosen Lost Lagoon. I'm going to use this butterfly. Now this one was something I got for free from someone, Stampin' Up, but there are butterflies in various stamp sets. For example, the Kinda Eclectic has a butterfly, and also the obviously the butterfly Potpourri, Papillon Pourri, has a butterfly. So don't despair, there are butterflies to be found, so just use one that's convenient. I just chose this one because it's on a block, and I thought it would be handy if I was doing the video. So again, lots of ink everywhere, but I'm just going to dab some off and stamp so that it looks like it's sort of there. I don't know what it's going to look like. Maybe it's just behind, yeah, it'll be just behind the leaf and the flower. So there we go. And then we colour it in. Okay. It's turning out a bit more greener than I thought, because I had a bit of green left in my brush, but never mind. So we bring out the colour like this. Right, okay, so what we do now to finish the flowers, I've got this one, and I'm going to get the Rich Razzleberry, and I'm going to stamp that in the middle, but I'm going to stamp it off and then I'm going to stamp it in the middle of the flower to give a light impression. I'm going to do the same one in this one, and then I'm going to do the same one in Wisteria Wonder here. I didn't even clean that, I don't mind mixing it in this direct, yeah, that's fine. Now I'm going to get the little one, this one, and I'll put it on the little block here, that's easier. And I'm just going to stamp it straight, so I'm not going to stamp off, I'm just going to make sure I've got the bold image this time. There we go. Then for the butterfly, what I did, I took my brush, and I dipped the end in the ink, and I just went like that, and that gives you sort of a little blob of colour. There we go, to indicate the middle. And so I kept on going round, and this is what I ended up with. This took about an hour to do. But I think it makes a really nice main image for a big special card, for example, or even just for a picture on the wall. I know quite a lot of you have tried to make the original wreath, the flower patch wreath that I did, and have succeeded fabulously in it. So I'm hoping that this idea of stamping a very light image and then colouring it in with the brush and water would give you another idea to start creating and start being creative. So on this one I've added an extra butterfly which I punched out after I'd stamped it, because there was too many leaves together there and I didn't like that, so I just put a butterfly on top. So you can always come up with an idea should your flowers not turn out as you want them to. But yes, I quite like this idea of stamping and watercolouring, and I hope you like it too. Thank you for watching and have a nice day. Bye!